Hi guys! Lucas successfully rescues Marco from kidnapping. Jason and Sonny face arrest following Marco's police report. The dramatic rescue unfolds. In a shocking turn of events on ABC's General Hospital, Lucas Jones successfully rescued Marco Rios from a dangerous kidnapping situation, leading to explosive consequences that have sent shockwaves through Port Charles. The dramatic rescue occurred after Lucas received a mysterious envelope containing an address and key, which led him to Marco's location where he found the young attorney unconscious and handcuffed to a chair. Lucas discovered Marco in a warehouse-like setting, beaten and restrained, having been held captive for over 24 hours. The rescue was particularly poignant as Lucas used lock-picking skills he had learned from his sister, Sam, to free Marco from his handcuffs, declaring himself Marco's hero in an emotional moment. Marco, though physically injured with visible bruises and scratches, was conscious and grateful to be rescued by the man he had grown close to romantically. The kidnapping plot and its orchestrators. The kidnapping was orchestrated as part of an escalating mob war between Sonny Corinthos and Jen Sidwell, Marco's father. Sonny had targeted Marco as leverage against Sidwell, believing that by taking Sidwell's son, he could force the mob boss to withdraw his support for various anti-Sonny campaigns, including Measure C and Drew Kane's mayoral bid. This retaliation for what he perceived as Sidwell's involvement in attacks on his own children, including the fire at Charlie's pub that endangered Christina Corinthos Davis. Jason Morgan was complicit in the kidnapping operation, working alongside Sonny to execute their plan against Sidwell. The decision to target Marco was particularly controversial given that Marco had actually saved Christina's life during the Charlie's pub fire, risking his own safety and potentially preventing him from reaching his mother Natalia in time to save her. This heroic act made the kidnapping even more morally questionable within the Port Charles community. Marco's police report and accusations. Following his rescue, Marco made a crucial decision to go directly to the Port Charles Police Department to report the kidnapping. In a dramatic confrontation at the police station, Marco faced Ada Justine Turner and provided a detailed account of his ordeal. However, Marco initially attempted to cover for his kidnappers by fabricating a story about getting lost on a hiking trail and falling into a ravine, claiming his injuries were from the fall and that he had slept in his car overnight. Despite his initial reluctance to implicate Sonny and Jason directly, Marco's appearance at the police station with visible signs of assault raised immediate suspicions. Ada Turner questioned the plausibility of Marco's cover story, noting the dramatic chain of events and the convenient timing. The pressure from law enforcement and the obvious inconsistencies in his account eventually led to Marco providing more truthful information about his kidnapping experience. Law enforcement response and investigation. Lucas had already raised alarm bells with the Port Charles Police Department before Marco's rescue, reporting his suspicions about Sonny's involvement in Marco's disappearance. He specifically approached Detective Harrison Chase and Ada Turner, expressing his belief that Marco had been kidnapped as part of the ongoing conflict between Sonny and Sidwell. Turner took Lucas's concerns seriously, treating the case as a potential abduction and calling Sonny in for questioning. The investigation intensified when Turner issued an ultimatum to Sonny, threatening to arrest him if Marco didn't surface within 24 hours. She specifically stated that if she could corroborate Dr. Jones's story about the kidnapping charges would be filed immediately. This pressure campaign by law enforcement created additional urgency around Marco's rescue and subsequent decision to report the crime. Sonny and Jason's legal jeopardy. Following Marco's police report, both Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan faced serious legal consequences for their involvement in the kidnapping. Ada Turner had been building a case against Sonny, and Marco's testimony provided the crucial evidence needed to proceed with charges. The situation was complicated by the fact that Sonny had been questioned at the police station even before Marco's rescue, with Turner making it clear that she suspected his involvement. Jason's participation in the kidnapping plot put him at particular risk, as Anna Devane had previously warned him about the legal consequences of going after Sidwell. Anna had specifically cautioned Jason that taking matters into his own hands could result in imprisonment and potentially endanger innocent people if Sidwell chose to retaliate. Jason's decision to ignore this advice and proceed with the kidnapping operation ultimately led to his arrest alongside Sonny. The broader implications for Port Charles. The kidnapping and subsequent arrests created ripple effects throughout Port Charles, affecting multiple ongoing storylines and relationships. The incident strained family bonds, particularly between Lucas and his sister Carly Spencer, who had refused to intervene on Marco's behalf despite Lucas's pleas. Lucas made it clear to Carly that he would never forgive her for defending Jason and Sonny's actions, demanding that she never again try to justify their behavior to him. The arrests also complicated the political landscape in Port Charles, as Sidwell had been a major financial backer of various campaigns against Sonny. With both Sonny and his right-hand man Jason in legal jeopardy, the power dynamics within the Port Charles underworld faced significant disruption. Sidwell, while initially backing down to secure his son's safety, had promised that this was only the beginning of his retaliation against Sonny. Marco and Lucas's relationship aftermath. The traumatic kidnapping experience brought Marco and Lucas closer together, with their romantic relationship deepening in the aftermath of the rescue. Despite the physical and emotional trauma Marco endured, the couple found solace in each other, with Marco expressing gratitude for Lucas's determination to find and rescue him. Their relationship had already been complicated by Marco's connection to his father Sidwell and the ongoing mob conflicts, but the kidnapping added another layer of complexity to their romance. Lucas's unwavering commitment to finding Marco, even when it meant going against his own family members who were involved in the kidnapping, demonstrated the strength of his feelings for the young attorney. The rescue solidified their bond and positioned their relationship as one that could withstand the dangerous politics and criminal activities that permeate Port Charles society. Future consequences and ongoing storylines. The arrests of Jason and Sonny following Marco's police report set the stage for significant legal drama in upcoming episodes. With both men facing kidnapping charges, their legal team, likely led by attorney Diane Miller, would need to mount a strong defense. The situation also opened the door for Sidwell to pursue his promised retaliation against the Corinthos organization while its leadership was compromised by legal troubles. Next, we will delve into the intriguing mystery surrounding Jason Morgan's latest clue that could unravel secrets from the past and potentially bring back a familiar face like Britt Westburn. In the bustling chaos of a crowded airport terminal, Jason Morgan found himself frozen in place, his sharp instincts kicking in as he caught a glimpse of a woman who bore an uncanny resemblance to someone he thought was long gone. From behind, her silhouette and posture screamed familiarish. It was as if Britt Westburn had stepped right out of his memories. Jason, ever the determined operative, made a bold move to board the plane and confront her directly, his mind racing with questions about her sudden appearance. However, airport security protocols warded his efforts, leaving him standing on the tarmac with nothing but frustration and a lingering suspicion. What truly captured his attention, though, was the distinctive bag she carried, emblazoned with a Five Poppies logo that seemed oddly out of place yet profoundly significant. This emblem, perhaps a subtle nod to a hidden organization or a personal symbol, has Jason pondering deeper connections. Inventing a bit of speculative backstory here. Imagine if Five Poppies ties into an underground network of herbal remedies or even a code for a secret society dealing in rare artifacts, something that could explain why this woman was so elusive. Jason's encounter wasn't just a fleeting moment. It stirred up emotions tied to his own history of loss and resurrection in Port Charles, making him question the finality of death in a town where comebacks are practically a tradition. Unable to dismiss the sighting, Jason is haunted by the image of this mysterious woman, leading him to confide in his tech-savvy ally, Damian Spinelli. We can envision Jason pacing in Spinelli's dimly lit hacker lair, recounting every detail with the precision of a seasoned enforcer. The way her hair fell just like Britt's. The confident stride that echoed her no-nonsense personality. This revelation could be the key to unlocking whether Britt, presumed dead after her tragic battle with a rare disease, has somehow cheated fate once more. After all, Port Charles is no stranger to miraculous returns. Think of Jason himself, who has clawed his way back from the brink multiple times. Or other residents like Sonny Corinthos who've defied the odds. Adding a layer of intrigue, let's invent a new element. Perhaps Jason recalls a faint tattoo or accessory on the woman that matches one Britt was known for. Like a delicate poppy-shaped pendant she wore as a symbol of her mother's legacy. This detail amplifies his conviction that she's alive, prompting him to urge Spinelli to dig into flight manifests and surveillance footage. The woman's destination: Dubrovnik, a picturesque coastal city in Croatia, where she was overheard murmuring that it felt good to be home. This comment adds a poignant twist. Could Dubrovnik be a hidden sanctuary for Britt, a place where she sought refuge from the dangers of Port Charles life? Analyzing this section, it suggests a narrative of reinvention. If she's indeed Britt, her return home might symbolize reclaiming her identity after faking her death to escape threats from her villainous family ties, such as her mother Leisel Ore's schemes. Spinelli, with his unparalleled hacking skills and encyclopedic knowledge of digital footprints, would likely need mere moments to pierce through the veil of anonymity surrounding this enigma. We predict he'd cross-reference passenger lists, facial recognition software, and even social media shadows to unmask her. But here's where it gets complicated. She's probably operating under a fabricated identity, perhaps something exotic like Elena Kovac to blend into the Balkan backdrop. Inventing further details, imagine Spinelli uncovering encrypted emails or travelogues hinting at her involvement in medical research circles, tying back to Britt's expertise as a doctor. This fake persona could be a shield against old enemies, allowing her to rebuild in secrecy. Jason and Spinelli's partnership shines here. While Jason brings the fieldwork grit, Spinelli provides the cyber edge, forming a dynamic duo that's cracked tougher cases before. Their collaboration might extend to analyzing the Five Poppies clue in depth. Could it be a boutique brand from Eastern Europe specializing in luxury handbags? Or perhaps a metaphor for 5 key figures in a clandestine operation? Delving into this, let's add a speculative analysis. If Five Poppies references the opium poppy's historical ties to medicine and deception, it aligns perfectly with Britt's background in oncology and her family's shady dealings, potentially pointing to a new plot involving experimental treatments or black market drugs. Rather than charging off solo to Dubrovnik, Jason would be smart to loop in Spinelli from the start, having the investigative load and maximizing their chances of success. Picture Jason jetting to the ancient walled city, navigating its stone streets and azure Adriatic views, but with Spinelli feeding him real-time intel via earpiece, tracking the woman's movements through hacked CCTV or geotagged photos. This teamwork could reveal her exact location, perhaps a quaint villa overlooking the sea where she's been laying low. To expand on this, invent a new element. Suppose they discover she's been volunteering at a local clinic, using her medical skills under the radar, which would confirm her as Britt and add a redemptive arc to her story. The Five Poppies bag becomes their golden thread. Researching it might lead to an online storefront or a private club, providing breadcrumbs about her origins. Moreover, tracing her flight's point of origin, say, from a hub in Geneva, could expose patterns in her travels, hinting at frequent visits to research facilities or safe houses. This detailed pursuit underscores the theme of persistence in General Hospital, where no secret stays buried forever. Adding another layer of complexity, the mystery deepens with the involvement of Professor Henry Hank Dalton, a shadowy academic figure whose own courier was aboard the same flight. Dalton's presence screams intrigue. He's entangled in dubious activities, with various Port Charles players hot on his trail, possibly linked to espionage or illicit experiments. Analyzing this connection, it seems Dalton might be the puppet master, using couriers to transport sensitive data or artifacts related to Five Poppies, perhaps a code for a 5-phase project involving genetic research that could explain Britt's survival. Inventing fresh details, let's say the courier was carrying documents referencing a breakthrough in Huntington's disease treatments, mirroring Britt's own health struggles and suggesting she faked her death to pursue a cure in secret alliance with Dalton. His shady reputation, built on rumors of corporate espionage and ties to international syndicates, positions him as a formidable antagonist. Will Jason and Spinelli be the heroes who dismantle his web? Their investigation could lead to a high-stakes confrontation in Dubrovnik, blending action with emotional reunions, and exposing how Dalton's agenda intersects with Port Charles' underbelly, maybe even involving other characters like Anna Devane or Valentine Casadini in the chase. As this storyline unfolds, it teases the tantalizing possibility of a Britt and Jason reunion, reigniting sparks from their complicated past romance marked by trust issues and undeniable chemistry. GH fans, what are your thoughts on this potential comeback? Are you rooting for a Jason-Britt pairing with their shared history of resilience and redemption creating fireworks, or do you envision Jason finding love with someone else in Port Charles? Like the steadfast Carly Spencer or a fresh face to shake things up? Share your ships and theories in the comments below. Love to hear how you'd steer this dramatic arc. Next, we will explore the tantalizing possibility that Nathan West might still be among the living, sparking a whirlwind of drama that could send Maxie Jones on a desperate quest for her lost husband amid the unfolding Britt Westburn saga. Diving into the heart of Port Charles' endless cycle of resurrections, recent spoilers are stirring up fresh speculation about whether Nathan West, the beloved detective who met a tragic end, could defy the grave just like so many before him. With the emerging hints surrounding Britt Westburn's potential survival, fans are buzzing about the implications for her sibling. Could this mean Nathan is out there, waiting to be rediscovered? It's all still shrouded in mystery at this early stage of Britt's storyline, where concrete details remain elusive. But the soap opera logic of General Hospital suggests that if one family member claws their way back from death, others might follow suit. To flesh this out with inventive flair, picture a clandestine lab hidden in the Swiss Alps where experimental revival tech, perhaps involving cryogenic preservation or advanced stem cell therapy, has been secretly tested, offering a plausible sci-fi twist to how characters like Nathan could return. This notion ties directly into the town's history of improbable comebacks, from Jason Morgan's multiple rebirths to Helena Casadini's enduring villainy, reminding us that in Port Charles, death is often just a plot device for dramatic reentries. Delving deeper into this section, the excitement builds around how Britt's reappearance could serve as a narrative gateway, unraveling threads that pull Nathan back into the fold and reigniting old flames with Maxie in ways that reshape alliances across the canvas. At the center of this speculative storm stands Leisel Ore, the formidable matriarch whose grief over losing both children has been a driving force in her chaotic schemes. If Britt has indeed outsmarted her fatal illness made through a hidden cure or a body double ploy, it's not a stretch to imagine Leisel holding onto secrets that extend to Nathan's fate. Devastated by his heroic death in a hail of bullets while protecting his family, Leisel would seize any chance to restore her son, perhaps enlisting shadowy contacts from her checkered past to make it happen. Inventing a new layer here. Suppose Leisel has been safeguarding an encrypted journal from Nathan's final days, containing clues to a backup plan he devised with international operatives, ensuring his survival through witness protection or a fake demise to evade Fason's lingering enemies. This detail amplifies the emotional stakes, portraying Leisel not just as a villain, but as a fiercely protective mother whose machinations could bring joy or peril to Port Charles. Examining this element closely, it highlights the theme of familial bonds in General Hospital, where Obrick's potential involvement in dual resurrections underscores her evolution from antagonist to a complex anti-hero, possibly setting up alliances with unlikely partners like Anna Devane to uncover the truth. Complicating the puzzle further is the specter of Victor Casadini, whose presumed death hasn't stopped fans from theorizing about his ongoing influence in these revival plots. Victor's past obsession with Leisel, rooted in their twisted romantic history and shared thirst for power, positions him as a prime suspect in orchestrating comebacks for strategic gains, perhaps using cloned versions or the genuine articles revived through his vast resources. Whether it's authentic returns or doppelganger deceptions, Victor's hand could be behind Britt's survival and, by extension, Nathan's, aiming to manipulate the Obrecht family for his grand Casadini schemes. Adding inventive depth, envision Victor operating from a fortified island fortress in the Mediterranean, where he's amassed a team of rogue scientists experimenting with memory implants and genetic reconfiguration, allowing revived characters like Nathan to return with altered personalities or hidden agendas. This connection enriches the intrigue, suggesting a larger conspiracy that could entangle multiple Port Charles families. Probing this section, it reveals how Victor's potential role amplifies the soap's love for overarching villain arcs, blending espionage with personal vendettas and paving the way for explosive confrontations that test loyalties across the board. Yet, some eagle-eyed viewers are pointing fingers at Caesar Faison, the notorious mastermind whose apparent demise has been questioned time and again, potentially pulling strings from the shadows. As the biological father of both Britt and Nathan, Faison's legacy of deception and obsession makes him a fitting architect for their possible revivals, perhaps as part of a deranged bid to reclaim his perfect family. This theory gains traction given his history of faking deaths and employing body doubles, which could explain how his children might have inherited or adopted similar survival tactics. To expand creatively, let's introduce a fabricated artifact, a mysterious locket passed down from Faison, engraved with coordinates to a hidden bunker where revival protocols were stashed, now activating in the wake of Britt's clues and drawing Nathan into the light. Such an element heightens the familial drama, weaving in themes of inherited madness and redemption. Reflecting on this aspect, it underscores General Hospital's penchant for resurrecting iconic villains to fuel multi-generational conflicts, keeping the audience on edge with twists that challenge characters' perceptions of reality. Shifting gears to real-world developments, Kirsten Storms, the talented actress behind Maxie Jones, has shared on Instagram her upcoming move to Tennessee, necessitating a temporary break from the show. She teased that an epic storyline is in the works during her absence, one that's bound to leave fans reeling with excitement. Could this plotline intertwine Britt's survival with whispers of Nathan's return, prompting Maxie to embark on an off-screen adventure in search of her husband? Imagining the possibilities, Maxie might receive anonymous tips, perhaps cryptic postcards, from exotic locals hinting at Nathan's whereabouts, leading her on a globetrotting chase that builds suspense until Storm's comeback. Inventing additional intrigue, suppose Maxie teams up with a new ally, like a Taqua's informant from Nathan's past cases, uncovering digital trails that point to his hidden life in seclusion. This setup maintains narrative momentum, allowing Maxie's character to grow through adversity. Considering this portion, it illustrates how behind-the-scenes changes fuel on-screen innovation, transforming personal hiatuses into opportunities for character-driven epics that deepen emotional investments. However, optimism aside, there's a darker undercurrent. This scenario could morph into a perilous trap, with Maxie being drawn into danger by forces using Nathan's alleged survival as lure for a kidnapping or worse. Nefarious players, from Casadini holdouts to Faison loyalists, might exploit her vulnerability, turning hope into a weapon. Despite the risks, the prospect of Nathan's return, whether through Ryan Peavy's reprisal or a fresh recast, would be a fan-favorite triumph, injecting vitality into Port Charles with his steadfast heroism and romantic ties. To elaborate inventively, picture Nathan re-emerging with subtle changes, like a scar from his death ordeal or newfound skills in undercover work, adding layers to his dynamic with Maxie and the broader ensemble. This potential development captures the essence of soap opera wish fulfillment, where beloved characters rise again to heal old wounds. GH enthusiasts, what's your take on Nathan's possible revival? Would you cheer for a Max and Nathan reunion amid the chaos, or do you see her finding new paths forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're eager to debate these thrilling twists.